While most preppers are wasting thousands on flashy survival kits, the smartest ones know something different. Real survival comes down to just 5 foods that cost less than a week's groceries. And if you wait too long to stock up, you might never get the chance. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 5 core foods that separate real preppers from pretenders. Foods that can last decades, cost pennies per calorie, and actually keep you alive when everything else fails. I'll show you exactly why these foods matter, how to store them properly, and the critical mistakes that could destroy your entire stockpile. You're watching Crisis Horizon, where we cut through the noise and give you strategies that actually work when it matters most. If you want no-nonsense preparedness advice that could save your life, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss our content. Let's get right into it. Rice is more than just a staple. It's the dividing line between those who are truly prepared and those who are merely pretending. If your emergency stockpile doesn't start with rice, you're missing the mark entirely. And here's why the survival industry won't tell you this. There's no profit in selling what works best. A 50-pound bag of rice costs around $25 and provides thousands of calories, real fuel, not just snack energy. When you compare the calories per dollar, rice outperforms nearly every other survival food on the market. While some preppers boast about their expensive freeze-dried meal buckets, the quiet, smart preppers are sitting on hundreds of pounds of rice, stored airtight and ready for anything. When disaster hits, those relying on pricey kits may find themselves hungry within a week, while rice stockpilers continue to eat comfortably. Rice isn't just filler, it's a force multiplier. Pair it with beans and you get a complete protein, the kind of nutrition your body needs to function. Even with just oil and salt, rice can sustain you. Civilizations have been built on rice for a reason. But here's where most people fail: improper storage. Tossing a sack in the pantry isn't enough. Moisture, bugs, and rot can quickly ruin your investment. The right way to store rice is in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers placed inside food-grade buckets. Done correctly, rice can last up to 30 years, making it not just food, but insurance. And you need to pay attention to what's happening globally. Rice prices are climbing due to droughts, wars, and export bans. A single shock to the system can double prices overnight. Stocking up now ensures you won't be fighting over overpriced bags when supplies run low. If your prepping doesn't start with rice, you're not truly ready. Now, if rice is the backbone of survival, beans are the muscle. Together, they transform a pile of starch into a complete meal and a complete protein, offering the same nutritional strength as meat without the need for refrigeration or hunting. This is the combination that changes everything. Many rookie preppers make the mistake of skipping beans in favor of overpriced snacks like jerky, candy, or protein bars. These options are expensive, short-lived, and ultimately useless in a real collapse. Beans, on the other hand, last for decades, cost pennies, and keep you full for hours. Let's talk about the 2 types you need to know. Dry beans are the long-term investment. Stored properly, they can last 25 to 30 years. They require cooking, but their shelf life and nutritional value make them indispensable. Then you have canned beans, the short-term win. Canned beans can be eaten straight from the can, no fire, fuel, or waiting required. When the lights go out, you'll still be eating real meals. Beans aren't optional, they're non-negotiable. Rice alone keeps you alive, but rice plus beans keeps you thriving. This combination is survival perfection, proven by centuries of use across cultures. Think about it. How many civilizations survived and flourished on nothing more than grains and legumes? The answer is most of them. From a nutritional standpoint, you're getting complete protein without having to hunt, fish, or raise livestock. You're getting fiber, iron, and sustained energy that keeps you going hour after hour. And from a cost perspective, you simply cannot beat the value. A 20-pound bag of dry beans might run you $15 to $20 and provide enough protein to last one person months. While everyone else is stockpiling expensive alternatives, you'll have the foundation that actually works. And when those beans are paired with rice, you've got yourself a meal that not only fills you up, but keeps your body functioning at peak performance. Now let's talk about the most underrated survival food that exists: oats. While rice and beans get all the attention, oats outperform them in terms of speed and efficiency, especially during survival mornings, when time and fuel are scarce. A splash of hot water is all it takes to prepare oats in minutes. Even cold water works in a pinch, something you can't say about rice or beans. This is massive when you're dealing with limited fuel sources or need to eat quickly and move. Oats are incredibly versatile. You can go sweet with honey or powdered milk, savory with broth or canned meat, or even grind them into flour for bread or pancakes. This versatility helps combat food fatigue, giving you options without needing a pantry full of extra ingredients. When you're eating the same foods day after day, variety becomes critical for maintaining morale and preventing burnout. Storage-wise, old oats last 1 to 2 years as is, or up to 10 years when stored in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. Steel-cut oats have an even longer shelf life. Oats are light, cheap, and fuel efficient, making them perfect for bug-out bags or tight spaces where every pound matters. Ignore oats and you'll regret it the first morning you wake up hungry, out of propane, and staring at a bag of dry beans that takes an hour to cook.
Oats solve the breakfast problem instantly and give you the energy to face whatever the day throws at you. But oats do something else that's equally important. They give you options. When you're 3 weeks into eating nothing but rice and beans, being able to switch to oatmeal, whether it's savory or sweet, can make all the difference psychologically. You can mix oats with peanut butter for added fat and protein. You can cook them with canned fruit if you have it. You can even use them to stretch other meals by mixing them into soups or stews. And if you have the ability to grind oats into flour, you've just unlocked another entire category of foods you can make. Oat flour works for pancakes, cookies, and even as a thickener for sauces. This kind of flexibility is what separates someone who merely survives from someone who maintains quality of life during a crisis. Now we move to something that touches the soul, flour, or better yet, wheat berries. Survival isn't just about eating, it's about feeling human. Flour represents civilization in powder form. While you can survive on beans and rice, flour keeps morale alive, turning scraps into meals and meals into memories. Beans alone can be rough, but beans with flatbread become dinner. Oats get boring fast, but add flour and you have pancakes or bannock. Even without yeast or fancy tools, flour can be transformed into tortillas or biscuits, providing comfort and variety that goes beyond simple nutrition. Here's the decision you need to make: wheat berries versus processed flour. Wheat berries are whole, unprocessed wheat that can be ground into flour as needed. They have a longer shelf life and retain more nutrients. If you have a grain mill or even a quality blender, wheat berries are the superior choice for long-term storage. Flour, on the other hand, is convenient and versatile, but more susceptible to spoilage over time. If you're storing flour, you absolutely must use Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers and keep it in a cool, dark place. Even then, you're looking at a shorter shelf life compared to wheat berries. But here's what matters most. Flour isn't just food, it's comfort. In a crisis, the ability to make bread or simple baked goods can lift spirits and provide a sense of normalcy. There's something primal and deeply satisfying about the smell of fresh bread, even if it's just a simple flatbread cooked on a pan. Think about what flour allows you to do. You can make tortillas to wrap your beans and rice. You can make pancakes to start your morning with something warm and familiar. You can make biscuits to go alongside your meals. You can even make simple pasta if you have eggs or just water and salt. This is about maintaining humanity during inhuman circumstances. When everything around you is chaotic and uncertain, being able to sit down to something that resembles a normal meal can be the difference between maintaining hope and losing it entirely. Now we get to something that touches the soul: flour, or better yet, wheat berries. Survival isn't just about eating, it's about feeling human. Flour represents civilization in powder form. While you can survive on beans and rice, flour keeps morale alive, turning scraps into meals and meals into memories. Beans alone can be rough, but beans with flatbread become dinner. Oats get boring fast, but add flour and you have pancakes or bannock. Even without yeast or fancy tools, flour can be transformed into tortillas or biscuits, providing comfort and variety that goes beyond simple nutrition. Now we get to the wild card, the food that most preppers completely overlook: peanut butter. When shelves go bare, peanut butter becomes gold. Most preppers focus on carbs and forget about fat, the biggest survival mistake you can make. Without fat, your brain fogs, your body crashes, and your mood tanks. Peanut butter fixes all of that in one jar. A single spoonful delivers nearly 200 calories of fat, protein, and satisfaction. No cooking, no heating, no waiting, just open and eat. In survival mode, that's priceless. Peanut butter is calorie-dense, shelf-stable, and comforting. Stir it into oatmeal, spread it on bread, or mix it into beans. It upgrades everything, but there's something else you need to understand about peanut butter. It becomes currency in a crisis. Everyone will have rice or beans, but not everyone will have fat. That scarcity turns peanut butter into trade gold. Think about it. When people are eating nothing but grains and legumes day after day, who wouldn't trade generously for something rich, fatty, and satisfying? And here's the warning you need to hear. Peanut crops are under stress. Droughts and shortages are pushing prices up. When the next shock hits, peanut butter will vanish from shelves overnight. Stock it now, because once it's gone, it's gone. From a practical standpoint, peanut butter solves multiple problems at once. It's portable, it doesn't require refrigeration, and it has a decent shelf life, even without special storage. A jar of commercial peanut butter can last a year or more in your pantry, and natural peanut butter stored properly can last even longer. But beyond the practical benefits, peanut butter provides something psychological that you can't measure in calories: satisfaction. When you're eating basic staples day in and day out, having something rich and flavorful makes all the difference. It's the taste of normalcy. It's the taste of comfort. And in a crisis, that comfort can be worth its weight in gold. You can also use peanut butter to make other foods more palatable. Rice with peanut butter and a little soy sauce becomes a completely different meal. Oatmeal with peanut butter becomes filling and delicious. Even plain bread becomes a satisfying snack when you add peanut butter. So now you understand the 5 core foods: rice, beans, oats, flour, and peanut butter. But knowing what to stock is only half the battle. You need to know how to store these foods properly, or you'll lose everything you've invested. Let's start with the basics. Mylar bags are your first line of defense. These bags provide an airtight seal and protect against moisture and pests. You pair these with oxygen absorbers, which remove oxygen from storage containers, preventing spoilage and extending shelf life dramatically. For bulk items like rice, beans, and oats, you'll want food-grade buckets. These sturdy containers keep out rodents and insects while providing an additional layer of protection. Stack them, label them, and know exactly what you have and when you stored it. Location matters more than most people realize. Store your buckets and containers in cool, dark places.
Heat and light are enemies of long-term food storage. A basement is ideal if you have one. A closet in the coolest part of your house works too. Just avoid attics, garages, or anywhere that experiences temperature extremes. For items like peanut butter that come in their own containers, you still need to pay attention to storage conditions. Keep them away from heat sources and direct sunlight to maximize shelf life. Now, here's something critical that too many preppers ignore: rotation. Even foods that last decades need to be rotated. Use the oldest items first and replenish your stash regularly. This prevents waste and ensures you always have fresh supplies. But rotation does something else important. It forces you to actually use these foods. And that brings us to the next point. You need to practice cooking with your survival staples. Don't wait until disaster strikes to figure out how to make flatbread or cook dry beans properly. Familiarize yourself with simple recipes. Learn to make tortillas from scratch. Practice cooking beans until they're tender and flavorful. Experiment with different ways to prepare oats. The time to learn these skills is now, when you have the luxury of making mistakes without consequences. Stock basic seasonings too. Salt is non-negotiable. It's a preservative and a flavor enhancer. Oil is essential for cooking and adding calories. Spices like garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, and chili powder can transform bland staples into satisfying meals. These additions are small investments that pay massive dividends in preventing food fatigue. Let's talk about why these 5 foods matter so much. Together, they provide a balanced mix of carbohydrates, protein, fat, and essential nutrients. This combination supports sustained energy, muscle maintenance, and mental clarity, critical factors in any survival scenario. Rice and oats give you the carbohydrates you need for energy. Beans provide protein and fiber. Flour extends your options and adds variety. Peanut butter delivers the fat that your brain and body desperately need. This isn't random. This is a complete nutritional system. Each of these foods can be stored for years, sometimes decades, with proper preparation. They require minimal resources to prepare and can be cooked with limited equipment. Whether you're sheltering in place or forced to bug out, these foods adapt to your situation. But here's what really matters: psychological comfort. Survival isn't just about calories, it's about morale. The ability to make familiar foods like bread, pancakes, or peanut butter sandwiches provides comfort and a sense of normalcy during stressful times. This cannot be overstated. When everything else is falling apart, having food that tastes good and reminds you of better times can keep you mentally strong. And we can't ignore cost efficiency. These foods offer the highest calories per dollar, making them accessible for preppers on any budget. You don't need thousands of dollars to build a solid foundation. A few $100s invested wisely in these core staples will outperform expensive prepper kits every single time.
Let's address the mistakes that destroy most prepping efforts. First, stop overvaluing gimmicks. It's easy to be seduced by flashy prepper kits and expensive gear, but these often provide short-term solutions at a high cost. The marketing is designed to make you feel like you need the latest gadget or the fanciest freeze-dried meal. Focus on proven staples that have sustained civilizations for centuries. Rice and beans didn't become dietary staples by accident. They worked, they lasted, and they kept people alive through famines, wars, and disasters. Trust what's been tested by time, not what's hyped by marketing. Second, don't neglect storage. This is where people lose everything. Improper storage can ruin your investment in months. Take the time to learn best practices. Invest in quality containers and preservation methods. It's not glamorous, but it's the difference between success and failure. Third, don't forget fat. This is huge. People stock up on carbs and protein and completely overlook fat. Your brain needs fat to function. Your body needs fat for energy and hormone production. Your mood depends on adequate fat intake. Without it, you'll deteriorate quickly, no matter how much rice and beans you have. And finally, don't ignore rotation. Even long-lasting foods need to be rotated. Make sure you're using and replacing items to keep your stash fresh and ready. Set reminders. Create a system. Make it automatic so you never have to worry about it. Prepping isn't about fear, it's about smart, strategic planning. The 5 core foods we've covered today, rice, beans, oats, flour, and peanut butter, form the backbone of any survival stash that actually works. They're simple, cheap, powerful, and proven. Forget the gimmicks and focus on what matters. Survival doesn't start in a bunker, it starts in your pantry. By building a foundation on these essentials, you ensure that you and your loved ones can weather any storm, outlast temporary shortages, and maintain both physical health and psychological well-being. The world is unpredictable. Droughts, wars, export bans, and supply chain disruptions can send food prices soaring and empty shelves overnight. We've seen it happen. We'll see it happen again. By focusing on brutal efficiency and mastering these 5 core foods, you position yourself to not just survive, but thrive, no matter what comes your way. Take action now. Stock up, store smart, and practice using your supplies. Don't wait until prices spike or shelves empty. Don't wait until everyone else figures this out and creates shortages. The best time to prepare was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Your pantry is your insurance policy. While others panic and scramble, you'll have the foundation you need to stay calm, stay fed, and stay strong. That's what Crisis Horizon is all about, giving you the strategies that actually work when it matters most. Stay smart, stay prepared, and we'll see you in the next video.